Hey guys, welcome back. This is chapter 7. This chapter we're going to be dealing with activity-based costing and how that can actually be a tool to aid decision making. So when we talk about activity-based costing, this is where we're assigning overhead and indirect costs to products or services based on activities that actually drive costs. It's cost assigned because of the activity. Um, It focuses on the cause effect relationship between cost and the activities that consume those resources. It provides more accurate product costing compared to other traditional kind of methods because it identifies the high cost activities and the inefficiencies. Activities are actually actions that incur cost. So a machine setup, a quality inspection, a machining, an assembly, the actual actions that incur the cost, that's an activity. Cost drivers are factors that determine the cost of an activity, like number of setups, the number of hours worked, those kind of cost drivers, those impact the actual cost. The cost pools are groups of costs that are related to a single activity. So, an example of this would be like a furniture manufacturer who identifies activities like cutting wood, assembling, painting, quality inspection, quality control, finishing. Costs are assigned based on the specific activities that are required for each product. So let's say that there's a company that they produce two different products. There's product A, which is high volume, it's a standardized product. And there's product B, which is low volume, and it's a very customizable product. The overhead costs would be about $100,000. It includes activities like machine setups, inspections, order processing, that kind of information, those kind of steps. The traditional costing approach, the overhead would actually be allocated based on machine hours. So the total machine hours would be 10,000, overhead rates 100,000 divided by the 10,000 would be about $10 a machine hour. And both products would absorb overhead equally regardless of their use of resources. That's how a traditional system would handle it. But with ABC cost allocation, it identifies activities and cost drivers. So the machine setup would be $30,000. That's a cost driver, and it would be influenced by the number of setups. There's quality inspection, $50,000 of cost. The cost driver would be inspection hours. So how many hours were spent inspecting the particular job? Order processing, $20,000. The cost driver would be the number of orders. All of those are relevant factors. So you would assign costs based on activity usage. So product A would have 10 setups, it'd have 50 inspection hours and 5 orders. And product B would have 20 setups, 150 inspection hours and 15 orders. So the cost calculation, you would essentially just take all of those setups, inspection hours, and orders and basically apply them by the product type. So ABC costing reveals that product B would end up, in this case, consuming significantly more resources than product A. It was 77,500 versus 22,500 if you went through all the math. Traditional costing, this would, when we compare that to ABC product costs, this would allocate overhead using a single volume based cost driver like machine hours or labor hours. It sort of picks one. It's simpler, but it's less accurate, especially when the resources consume materials differently or resources differently. An example would be like high volume products. They may subsidize low volume products and they'd end up distorting the true costs. Activity based costing allocates overhead using multiple cost drivers that are linked to specific activities. It ends up capturing the complexity of resource consumption, like custom products, like in product B, are assigned higher costs due to their disproportionate use of setups, inspections, and orders. So the key difference is ABC is more precise, but it's also more complex because it requires detailed data and activities and cost drivers. Uh, So ultimately, when you're considering this from a managerial standpoint, you need to understand that traditional costing is adequate for simple, homogeneous kind of operations, but ABC is essential for diverse and complex environments where cost structures can vary significantly. Um, Other advantages of ABC: there's improved accuracy. It reflects actual resource usage, leading to better pricing and profitability analysis. There's cost control. It identifies high cost activities and opportunities for efficiency improvements, supports decision making. It helps in product mix, discontinuation, and process improvement decisions. And the challenges of ABC would be data collection. It requires a detailed tracking of activities and resource consumption. The implementation cost. It can be resource intensive to set up and maintain. It also may be unnecessary for simple operations with uniform products. When do you use it? When you have high overhead costs or if you have diverse product lines, ABC costing probably makes sense. If there are significant differences in resource consumption across products, it also may make sense. And if you have a need for detailed cost insights for strategic decision making, that also makes sense. But ultimately, ABC links cost to activities. It provides a detailed understanding of cost drivers, and sort of looking at it above, that sort of with the illustration that demonstrates how ABC assigns its cost based on resource usage, revealing true product costs. Traditional costing oversimplifies, while ABC offers accuracy for complex operations. ABC's benefits in accuracy and decision making must be weighed against its complexity and implementation costs. So ultimately, it sort of gives you sort of a high level view of ABC costing. I'll send out other resources and materials that help you sort of visualize what we're talking about. And guys, as always, if you ever have a question, need anything, I'm here. Talk to you guys soon. Hope you have a great week.